Hey there, YouTube. It's Emma. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another yoga class. Let's go ahead and get started on our backs in a knock knee position. That means your feet are flat on the mat, about the width of your mat, and let your knees fall in towards each other. This oftentimes feels really good if you have any low back pain. You can make your spine nice and long by almost scooping your tailbone forward. Bring your left hand to your heart and right hand onto your belly. If you need to adjust your shoulder blades or your arms at all to feel more comfortable, go ahead and do that now. Take a moment, notice what thoughts are present, and see if you can hit the pause button on any of those. Give yourself the gift of presence, of being fully here, exactly where your body is. You can pick up those thoughts if you still want them once you finish your practice. But for right now, try to make a little bit of space, clear things out. Take an inhale, feel both hands rise as your belly and your lungs expand. Exhale, feel your hands fall. Again, breathe in. Think about expanding your rib cage, not only upwards, but also outwards. Exhale. Try to breathe so deeply that you can feel your hands like they're resting on a balloon, rising and falling. Rising and falling. Extend your arms up overhead. Lengthen. You can just keep your arms extended, or you could grab your elbows, whatever you like, and then just windshield wiper your knees side to side. Next time your knees are over to the right, pause there. You can stay like that, or it might feel a little awkward, but place your right foot on top of your left thigh and look to the left. Try to keep your sitting bones heavy. Think left hip a little bit forward. You should feel a nice big stretch in your left side. Imagine breathing in between the rib cage. Release your right foot to the floor. Take your knees over to the left. Stay there, or left foot on top of the right thigh. Think right knee, right hip a little bit forward. And imagine breathing all the way into the bottom of your right lung. Release your left foot, bring your knees back through center. Take a nice big stretch. Extend your legs, extend your arms. Hug your knees in, grab the back of your legs and rock up and down your spine. 3, 4, maybe 5 times. After your last one, grab a tabletop position. Always take your time. There's no rush on your mat. Turn your fingers to point back towards your knees, palms down, and then just shift your weight forwards and backwards a few times. You might also tuck your toes, get a little stretch on the bottoms of your feet. Turn your fingertips to point forward. Take a big clockwise circle. So you need to think about dropping your butt back towards your left heel, or a counterclockwise, I guess, over towards your right heel. Bring your hips towards your right wrist, back towards your left heel, right heel. So take some big circles, leading with your hips. Kind of like you're trying to clear out any stagnant energy from the outer hips or the sides of the body. Next time you sink back, just reverse that circle. So now you are going in a clockwise direction. And then we'll meet back in a tabletop. Walk your hands all the way forward for puppy pose. Grab the front of your mat if it's accessible. Bring your forehead down. Press down through the tops of your feet, your shin bones, and your ankles. Spread your toes out and push your toenails into the floor. Tone your belly. Think about the thigh bones going back a little bit. Then if you have space from here, you're welcome to bring your chin to the mat. Feel your outer hips lift. Lengthen the sides of your body. And then almost try to spread your shoulder blades a little bit, like you're hollowing or hiding your armpits. That'll put a little bit more action, more resistance into the pose. Slide forward onto your belly and then take your right arm out to the right with the palm down. Roll onto your right shoulder, step your left foot behind you. The closer you walk your left foot to your right hamstring and let your left knee fall out, you'll feel more opening on your hip. So totally up to you. 3, 2, and 1. Roll back onto your stomach. Switch. Take your left arm all the way out to the left. Roll onto your left shoulder. Step your right foot behind. Rest your head on the mat and almost use the pressure of the mat as a reminder to soften the muscles in your face. Unclench your jaw. Last 2. And 1. Roll back onto your stomach, slide your hands under your shoulders. Roll out your shoulders a few times. Press your toenails into the floor and lift your chest, cobra pose. Feel your inner thighs spiral down, plug your shoulder heads back, and then nice and slow, lower yourself down. We'll do that again. Inhale, roll up. Try not to let the heels flop out. Keep your toes pointing directly back. You'll feel your inner thighs, low belly, and then roll yourself right back down. Take 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Child's pose. Keep your knees where they are or take your knees out wider. Seal your lips if you haven't already. Breathe evenly in and out through your nose, Ujjayi Pranayama. Imagine fogging up a mirror in front of you, but keeping your lips sealed. Trap that heat inside, feel the texture of your breath. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Any movement you like is encouraged. A pedal of the legs, shake of your head. Some days stillness is best, so if that's you today, don't force it. A little bend in the knees is great. Avoid dumping into your shoulders, lengthen your arms, push your palms into the mat. Take your feet out wide, about the width of your mat. Walk your hands back about halfway. Take your thumbs to touch and then reach your right hand for your left ankle. Once you get it, bump your hips to the right, firm your thighs. Pull your torso through to the left. Head heavy. And release, switch. Left hand, outer right ankle. Your right hand is like you're pushing your mat forward. Firm your thighs, lift your arches and your toes. And release. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Turn your toes out, yogi squat. Feel free to wiggle side to side. Take the rounding out of your back. So if you need to, just prop yourself up a little bit more or use a block. We don't want to be rounding and hunched forward, collapsing into the chest. You want nice proud chest, long spine. 3. Knees out, lighter toes. 2. Back of your skull lift. 1, forward fold. Turn your toes forward and then lift up halfway. Forward fold. Little bend in the knees as you rise. Reach your arms all the way up. Now I want you to bend your left knee, plant your left hand on the mat, and reach your right arm up. So it's a twist we often do from a fold. I totally stole this transition from another teacher, so I'm not going to claim it, but I do love it. I want you to look up at your right thumb. Inhale, rise, reach both arms up, palms touch. Bend your right knee, right hand on the mat or a block, reach your left arm up. Look up towards your left thumb, think long spine, tailbone back, crown forward. Try to keep your gaze up at your left thumb as you rise all the way up, reach both arms, fold forward. Lift up halfway, forward fold. Again, inhale, rise, reach up. We'll do that one more time. Bend your left knee, plant your left hand on the mat, look up, right thumb. Keep your gaze up as you inhale, rise, palms touch. Exhale, bend right knee, right hand down, look up, left thumb. Keep your gaze up as you rise, reach both arms, fold forward. Halfway lift, fold. Walk your hands all the way out to plank position. Shoulders over your wrists, tone your belly. Inner thighs squeeze. Hip points forward. Avoid dropping your neck, dropping your head. Gaze forward as you shift your weight forward. Lower halfway and hold. Feel free to drop your knees. 3, 2, 1, high plank, press it back up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Lift your heels, take as many little baby steps as you can up to the front of your space. Big toes touch or hip width. Lift up halfway, fold forward. Press into your feet, rise, reach up. Hands to your heart. And hands by your side. Samastitihi. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach your arms up, look to your thumbs. Fold forward, feel free to bend your knees. Halfway lift, gaze forward. Plant your hands, step back with your right foot, then your left foot. Gaze forward as you lower chaturanga with or without your knees. Slide to the tops of your feet, cobra or up dog. Avoid dumping into your shoulders. Tone your belly as you roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Heels bumped out slightly. Hide your heels behind your ankles. Push your thigh bones back. Squeeze the tops of your thighs. Feel your kneecaps lifting up. Your outer hips lifting. Imagine you could breathe all the way into your heels. Lift your heels, look forward, step with your right foot, then your left foot to the front. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Hands heart, hands side. Round 2, reach up, get light in your toes, zip up your legs, fold forward, empty your lungs. Halfway lift, extend. Hands down, left foot, right foot, chaturanga, gaze forward as you lower. Inhale, find the top of your breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. No rush to get to the next breath or the next pose. Lengthen your arms, spread your shoulder blades. Feel space between your rib cage, like the sides of your body are getting longer. Imagine breathing space there. 3, 4, 5, heels up, look forward, left foot, right foot to the front, halfway lift, fold in. Rise, reach. Hands heart, hands side. Again, reach your arms up, squeeze your middle, look to your thumbs, forward fold, push your breath out. Halfway lift, hands down, step or jump back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel a little bit more ease, more space each time you come back. Lengthen and extend your breath. Feel a pause at the top and a pause at the bottom. Two more deep breaths. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Hands to your heart and by your side. Bend your knees, chair pose, reach up. Feet together or feet hip width. Think about your feet pushing through the floor and then almost like you're trying to split your mat wide, east and west. So right foot a little to the right, left foot a little to the left. You'll feel your glutes, your quads turn on more. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Lift up halfway. Step back with just your left foot. Bend and straighten your right leg 3 times. And then pause with your right leg straight or straighter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Fingertips or blocks are great. Even out your hips. So plug your right hip back, push your left hip forward. Like your legs are scissors or magnets towards each other. Can you get higher on your left toes? Lengthen the sides of your body. Notice if your right side is all bunched up. Almost think about a little twist to the right. Maybe you could even walk your hands a little bit more forward. Take the rounding out of your back. Extend your sternum towards the top of your mat for 3, 2, 1. Back knee down, Anjaneyasana, reach up. Keep thinking about your inner thighs as magnets, like they're dragging towards each other. Wrap your left arm under your right arm or just bring your forearms together. Lift your elbows and your sternum. Push your left shin bone, your left toenails down to feel more stable. And then can you get lighter in your right toes? Drive, sink your right heel. Take an inhale. Exhale, hands on the mat. Step your right knee back to meet your left knee. Extend your left leg back behind you. Then stretch your right arm forward. Inhale. Exhale, crunch your elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. One more inhale. Exhale. Extend. Bend your left knee. Take your right hand back. Tiger pose. Push your right toenails down. Use your left hand. Push into the floor. Maybe a little grip with your finger pads. And then can you plug your left shoulder back? Almost feel a little twist to the left for 3, 2. Slowly, right hand down, left toes to the mat. Straighten that left leg behind you and then pull your right knee into your chest. Dome your upper back, hug your right heel to your butt. 3-leg down dog, that right leg is up. Bend your knee, stack your hips, and then take some big circles with that right leg. Square your hips. Step your right foot up to your right thumb. Walk over to your left, wide leg forward fold. Feel free to shift around a little bit, like bend and straighten into one leg at a time. Lift up halfway, and then walk around towards the back of your mat. Bring your blocks if you're using them. Bend and straighten your left leg 3 times. Pause with your left leg, straight or straighter. Doesn't have to even feel the same as the other side. Doesn't have to look the same. Try to find the same sensation as the other side. So it's easy here to crunch up into the left hip, the left side body. Think left hip pulling back. Almost imagine like you're lengthening your left leg. Little twist to the left, sternum forward. Can you get higher on your right toes? Plug your shoulder heads back for 3. Breathe. 2. One. Back knee down, Anjaneyasana. Keep thinking about your inner thighs like magnets. Take your right arm under your left arm, lift your elbows. Tone your belly, pull your ribs back and down to feel more stable. Keep moving your breath. Inhale. And exhale, release your hands to the mat. Step your left knee to meet your right knee, tabletop. Right leg going back, left arm reaching forward. Inhale. Exhale, crunch, nice and slow. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Extend, big reach. Bend your right knee, reach back for your foot, tiger pose. Kick a little to the right, plug your right shoulder back, sternum forward, parallel your chin with the mat for 3. Left hip a little to the right, 2. 1, slowly left hand down, right toes to the mat. Pull your left knee to your chest. Feel this in your lower abs. Push your palms through the mat. 3-leg downward dog. Left leg up, bend your knees, stack your hips, and then circle it out a few times. Inhale. Exhale, step to your left thumb. Walk over to the right. This time, if you'd like to walk your hands to the right, to the left, or maybe twist a little bit. Any movement you need to feel further warmed up. So notice if there's any parts of your body that still feel a little sticky or tense. Try to move there. Lift up halfway. Walk towards the front of your mat and step back, chaturanga. We'll meet in downward facing dog. All right, now I want you to spin your left foot in about 45 degrees. Lift your right leg up behind you. So your left foot set up like warrior 1, bend your right knee. Look forward towards your thumbs and prop up onto your left fingertips. Stay here or see if you can float your left hand back to either tap your right toes or maybe grab the inside of your foot. I like to keep the gaze forward towards the right thumb. If you've got that, try to kick a little bit to the right for 3. 2. 1, left hand down, step your right foot to your right thumb. Rise up, warrior 1. Cinch your rib cage together, plug your right femur bone back. Firm down the outer edge of your left foot. Look up, maybe press your palms together. Place your hands on the mat and step back, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Spin your right foot in 45 degrees, lift your left leg up. Look forward towards your thumbs and prop up onto your right fingertips. Bend your left knee, See if your right hand can reach back. Either just tap your toes or maybe grab the inside of your foot. Kick back into the left. I like to keep the gaze forward for 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, step left foot to your thumb. Rise up, warrior 1. Cinch your ribs together, bend deeper into your left knee. Pull your bottom ribs in, tone your belly. Look up, maybe palms touch. Hands on the mat, step back, chaturanga. All right, spin your left foot in, lift your right leg up, bend your knee. Now just go back, left hand tap your toes. Exhale, left hand down, step your right foot forward. Inhale, warrior 1, 1 breath. Exhale, hands on the mat, vinyasa. Right foot spins in, left leg lift. Bend your knee, reach back, tap your toes, go slow. Right hand down, step left foot forward, warrior 1, 1 breath. Hands on the mat, vinyasa. Again, left heel spins in, right leg, inhale. Exhale, bend, tap. Left hand down, step forward, warrior 1. Hands to the mat, chaturanga. Right heel spins in, left leg lift. Bend it, reach back, tap it. Right hand down, step forward, warrior 1. Hands on the mat, vinyasa. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Hip width with your feet. Grab onto your big toes. Inhale, lengthen. Use your thumbs to cap your big toe. Exhale, fold. Little bend in the knees is great. Lift your shoulder blades away from your ears. Feel your inner thighs spiral back as you roll a little weight to the big toe and the big toe mound. Thigh bones push back, outer hips lift for 3. Squeeze the place where your thighs meet your hips, where your hips meet your belly, 2. And 1, awesome. Release that, slide your hands under your feet, Padahastasana. Lengthen, inhale, fold, exhale. Like you're trying to slide your hands out from underneath you. Shoulders away from ears. Roll your weight a little forward as you do that. Thigh bones back, tailbone lift. Crawl your ribs down your thighs. 3. Relax your neck. 4. Soften your jaw. 5. Release that. Walk your hands all the way out. And drop down to your knees. Come up to stand on your knees, camel pose. We're going to start with a 1-arm camel pose. Take your hands to your low back, lift your sternum the entire time. Think lift, 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 and then lean back. Right hand can reach back for right heel, reach your left arm up. Then try to plug your left shoulder back down, look up at your left thumb. Bring your left hand to your waist, come back up and switch. Left hand, left heel, reach your right arm up. Melt your right shoulder back down. Now this time I want you to lower your seat back towards your heels. Take your right hand, reach for your right heel. Push your hips forward and reach your left arm up. Inhale. So make a flow out of it. Exhale, drop your butt to your heels. Your left hand grabs your left foot. Inhale, hips forward, right arm up. Exhale, lower your hips down, right hand, right heel. Inhale, left arm. Exhale, sit. Inhale, right arm. Exhale, sit. One more. Inhale, left arm. Exhale, sit. Inhale, right arm. Exhale, sit. Bring your hands forward, knees together, feet together. Tuck your toes and take a seat back on your heels. So you should feel a stretch on the bottoms of your feet. It should be uncomfortable. Maybe move your pinkies a little bit out of the way. Hands on your thighs, close your eyes. Notice if you're contorting your face, clenching. Notice what kind of narrative you're telling yourself here. See if you can switch it up. It's not something you can't do. You're choosing to be here. You're choosing to put the work in, choosing to be present and breathe, even when things are uncomfortable. That's where the change happens. Each time you do it, it gets a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable. Cactus, bend your arms. Take your left arm under your right arm, and now you can lift your hips away from your heels. Step your right foot forward and get really heavy through your right heel. Think about using your right glute and your right hamstring, less using your left leg as you drive your right heel down and come up to stand, left knee to chest. Take your left leg over your right leg, eagle pose. Feel free to put your toes down as a prop, as kind of a kickstand or a modification. Elbows at shoulder height, your forearms going forward so you feel space in your upper back. Feel the back of your skull lift, lengthen your spine. Eagle dive, elbows to your knee. Unwind your legs. Keep your arms as you dive your eagle beak to the right. So it's a little twist to the right. Sternum to the right, elbows and fingers a little to the right. I like to point the left toes, but try to drop the outer hip. Maybe a little bend in your standing leg. Push the ball of your right foot down. Steady your breath. 3. Can you lengthen the right side of your body by plugging your right hip crease back? 2. 1. Hands on the mat, standing splits. Step your left foot behind your right foot and walk your hands over to the right for a moment. Walk your hands back through center, left foot step back, drop your knee, crooked monkey pose. Angle your right toes out, place your hand on your thigh. Plug your left shoulder back. If you'd like, you can reach back, right hand for left foot. 3. 2. Release back foot if you've got it. Side plank on the left. Hand, forearm, maybe you need to drop your knee, that's all right. Try to stack your hips, so bring that right hip a little bit forward. You're welcome to stay here, Vashisthasana, or step your right foot behind you for Wild Thing. Keep firming down the outer edge of your left foot. Push your spine in behind your heart. Big reach with your right arm, pinky down. And then see how slowly you can flip around and step your right foot forward. Widen your stance a tad and come up to a high lunge crescent warrior. Squeeze your outer hips in. Push your right foot forward, almost like you're trying to split your mat in half. Inhale. Exhale, twist to your right. Wide arms. Feel your right femur bone almost get longer. Hip back, knee forward. How slowly can you drop your left knee to the floor? Right hand to your left hamstring. Reach your left arm up. Now maybe you can walk your right hand back a little bit more towards your heel, your calf, or your ankle. Take a big inhale. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Hook left elbow outside, then wiggle into it. Once you feel pretty stable, you can tuck your back toes. Pump up your left leg. Again, think about your right femur bone getting longer. Get your sternum towards your thumbs, stack your elbows. And then house your spine. So the crown of the head going forward, tailbone back. That's how we want it for 3. Right knee a little to the right. 2. 1, hands down, pyramid pose. Blocks are great here. I want some relief on that right leg. So share the weight of your body between your legs. Plug your right hip back. Think again, little twist to the right. Lengthen the sides of your body. Left hand mat or block, revolving triangle. The right arm does not necessarily have to reach up. You can always bring your right hand to your waist or reach it directly out to the right. Focus most on getting a long spine. Tailbone back, right hip crease back for 3. 2. 1, look down, step your feet together, forward folds. Bend your knees, Utkatasana. Bring prayer hands to your heart center. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, figure 4 pose. Sink deeper into your left glute. You'll feel more stretch on your right outer hip. As you come up to stand, twist to the right. So left hand, start on the knee. Focus most on getting stability and standing up tall. If you'd like, you can grab for the outer edge of your foot, but don't force it. Better to stand up tall, maintain steady breath. If that's going well, try to look back towards your right thumb for 3. 2. 1, release the foot, take a long step back, warrior 2. And then we're going right into Skandasana at the back of the mat. Bend deep into your right knee, externally rotate your left thigh bone. You may need to widen your stance. Take the rounding out of your back, push your right knee out to the right. Feel free to use your hands, take a seat. Now, you can either hug your right shin in towards you, kind of how it was, or place the bottom of your right foot at your inner left thigh. Your left hand will either find your right waist or your right ankle. Stretch your right arm up, flex your left toes, and take a side bend to the left. Gate pose, Parigasana. Sink your right sitting bone down, keep flexing your left toes. If you feel pretty flexible here, try to spiral your chest up towards the ceiling, almost like you're leaning back over your left thigh for 3. 2. 1, bring yourself up. Extend your right leg straight, so your legs are at 90 degrees. Your left leg should still be parallel with the long edge of your mat. Take your right hand outside of your right hip. Your fingers will point towards the back of your mat. You'll roll to the inner edge of your left foot, outer edge of your right foot, fall in triangle pose. Make sure your left foot spins flat like warrior 2. Your right shoulder should be over your right wrist. Big reach with that left arm. And then look down at your right hand, slide your right knee up behind your wrist, pigeon pose facing the back of your mat. You can take regular pigeon pose, maybe coming down to the forearms. You can always modify, or you can add a twist here with that left arm threading through. Think right hip back a little bit. Make sure your left toes point directly back. They're not turning in or out. Relax the muscles in your face. Slowly start to unthread, walk your hands back. Slide your right knee directly between your thumbs. Slide your left knee up behind your right knee. Kick your feet away from each other, setting up Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Make sure it's the right leg on top. It doesn't need to look pretty or perfect. Try to get both sitting bones on the mat. I like to grab the feet. You're also welcome to make a bind with your hands. But if you feel pain, I want you to back off a little bit and go maybe more like a Ardha Matsyadrasana. If you feel discomfort, sit with that and really try to squash your right sitting bone to the floor. Sit up tall, take the rounding out of your back. Feel the back of your skull lift, melt your shoulders down your spine. 3. 4. And 5. All right, start to walk your hands over to the left. You'll roll onto your left knee and come into a kneeling position facing the front of your mat. It's not super pretty, but it works. Bring your knees together, feet together, toes tucked. Take a seat back on your heels. Feel free to move your pinkies out of the way. Rest your hands on your thighs. Soften your jaw between your eyes. Notice where your mind goes. Try to be exactly where your body is. Sit with a little bit of discomfort. Feel your breath. Cactus, bend your arms, open your eyes, take your right arm under your left arm. Now you can lift your hips away from your heels, step your left foot forward. Focus more on the drive down of your left heel. Use your left hamstring, left glute to pull yourself all the way up to standing, right knee to chest. So you really got to stabilize with that left leg, left glute, eagle pose. Your knees are almost pushing, like right knee to the right, left knee to the left, and they're locking in position. Tone your belly, bottom ribs down, elbows up and forearms forward. You should feel a stretch in your upper back between your shoulder blades. Breath in. Exhale, crunch elbows to top knee. Unwind just your legs. Keep your eagle beak as long as you can, little twist as you dive to the left. So elbows, sternum, fingertips a little to the left. Try to get your left rib cage out to the left and plug your left hip back. I like a little bend in the standing knee as I point my right toes. 3, 2, and 1. Hands on the mat, standing splits. Step your right foot behind your left foot. Walk your hands over to the left. Relax your neck, head heavy. Hands center, right foot step back, drop your knee. Wiggle left foot to the left. You've got crooked monkey pose. Hand to thigh, little twist. Option, reach back for your foot. Try to avoid dumping into your right shoulder. Plug it back. Release your back foot. Tuck your toes. Side plank on the right. So you can go right hand, forearm, option to drop your bottom knee. Stack your hips, left hip a little forward. Unless you're going to wild thing, then the left foot will step behind. Keep firming down the outer edge of your right foot. Breathe. See how slowly you can flip and step your left foot forward. Runner's lunge, widen your stance a tad and come up crescent warrior. Reach both arms up. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Left knee forward, left hip back. Pump up your right leg. How slowly can you drop your right knee to the floor? Your left hand finds your right hamstring. Reach your right arm up. Maybe from here you can walk your left hand back more. Heel, calf, ankle. Prayer twist to the left. Hook, wiggle in. Once you feel stable, back toes tuck. Left knee pushes to the left. So your elbow and knee are kind of creating resistance, creating that lock. And you're almost kind of leaning your head back. So you feel like your spine is getting longer. Pump up your right leg, tailbone back. 3. 2. 1. Hands down, pyramid pose, shorten it up. Left hip crease plugs back as you lengthen the sides of your body. Imagine like you're almost dragging your heels together. So you should get a little relief on your right leg here, or on your left leg. Right hand, mat or block, reach your left arm up. Revolving triangle. Your left arm does not have to reach up. Focus more on getting the left side of your body nice and long. So think left hip crease going back. You're reaching up just as much as you're pushing down. So right hand push, left arm reach. 3, 2, and 1. Left hand down, feet together, forward fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana. Hands at heart center, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, figure 4 pose. Hard flex of your toes, shin bone back. As you sink deeper into your right knee, you will intensify that stretch. Come up to stand and twist to the left. Grab your knee to start. Think left hip going down. That's going to help lengthen the side of your body. That's going well. You're welcome to grab the outside of your foot, but don't force it. Keep your chest open, collarbone spread. Maybe look back towards your left thumb for 3, 2, 1. Take a long step back, warrior 2. Line your right heel up with your left arch and then go directly into Skandasana at the back. Now, if you just kind of jump into it right away, it's a little too easy. Widen your stance a bit and pick your hips up a tad. Push your low back in, think left knee to the left. Avoid gripping with your left toes, but you do want your entire foot flat. Think about your left hip, pushing your right hip a bit towards the front of the room and firming up your right quad to help externally rotate. Think about squeezing your glute muscles together, engaging your mula bandha, and then lower your hips down. Feel free to use your hands. Your left shin, you can hug that in, foot flat, or bottom of the foot at your inner right thigh. Right hand will either grab your ankle or your waist. Reach your left arm up and take a side bend to the right. Your left sitting bone is getting heavier with every exhale. Try to spiral your chest up towards the ceiling, almost like you're leaning back a little bit over your right leg. Hard flex of your right toes the entire time from your right quadriceps for 3, 4, 5. Lift yourself up. Extend your left leg straight. So your legs are at 90 degrees. Your right leg is parallel with the long edge of your mat. Left hand outside left hip. The fingers point towards the back of the mat. Roll to the inner edge of your right foot, outer edge of your left foot, so you're in fallen triangle pose. Make sure your right foot spins flat like warrior 2. Use your inner right thigh. Pigeon pose, left side facing the back of the mat. Once again, you're welcome to just go straight to regular pigeon pose, or you can twist a bit by threading that right arm underneath. Make sure your right toes point directly back. They're not turning in or out. Even out the weight in your hips. If that's all going well, really think left hip, left knee back a little bit. Take a few more breaths here. Start to walk your hands back. Slide your left knee directly between your thumbs, your right knee up behind your left knee. Kick your feet away from each other and then take a seat back. Both sitting bones on the mat. Try to stack your knees as best you can, cow face pose. Focus more on getting your left sitting bone heavy to the floor, taking the rounding out of your back, sitting up tall, and not letting your feet slide forward. Steady your breath. All right, release. Start to walk your hands over to the right. Kind of roll back into a tabletop position. Let's go ahead and come all the way forward onto our bellies, actually. We're going to start with our back bends on our bellies. So I want you to make a bind behind your back, press your toenails into the floor. On your next inhale, lift your chest up. Walk your feet together, big toes touch, heels touch, and then lift your legs up. Shalabhasana, locust pose variation. Pull your chin to your chest, lengthen the back of your neck. Squeeze your back muscles for 3, 2, 1. Release your left ear to the mat and your arms by your sides. Right ear to the mat. Forehead to the mat. Either do that again with the opposite grip or bend your knees, reach back for the outsides of your feet. If you've got that, squeeze an imaginary block between your knees. Keep that block as you kick back and lift up. Keep squeezing that imaginary block. Feel your inner thighs turn on. 3, 2, 1. Release. Slowly lower. Stack your palms. Make a pillow for your forehead. And then windshield wiper your knees side to side. Now, nice and simple, I'm just going to have us roll onto our backs. If you'd like to face the other way, you are more than welcome to. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. And then take a happy baby pose. Grab your feet. Imagine pulling the shin bones down into the knees. Tailbone down, little tuck of your chin. If you'd like, you could straighten one leg at a time or both and rock gently side to side. Release that, bring your knees together, or right leg wrapped on top. Take your knees to the left, gaze to the right. Let your shoulders be heavy. You can kind of make the twist as active or as passive as you like. Bring your knees back through center and over to the right. Look to the left. Let your body just kind of melt into the shape. Start to feel tension release from your muscles. Bring your knees back through center. Give yourself a squeeze. Extend your legs. Flop your toes out. Wiggle your shoulder blades underneath you. Take your arms by your side. You could also choose to place your hands like we did in the beginning, left hand heart, right hand belly. Give yourself permission to take up space, permission to relax and let go. Try to be exactly where your body is. You can only find peace in the present moment. With every exhale, feel yourself arrive into this moment a little bit more. Surrender, relax, let go. Start to bring your awareness back, fingers, toes. One of my worst fears is falling asleep while I'm filming a YouTube class. There's no one like around to wake me up. Obviously, I'd have to edit it out, but it would still be quite embarrassing. When you're ready, stretch your arms overhead, lengthen your body. You take a big yawn and then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a moment of thanks, gratitude for showing up, putting effort in, doing your best with the poses, and to be present. Sometimes that's the more challenging part, to tame the wandering mind, so we just do our best. Make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Eyes closed with your hands at your heart center. Take a bit of this presence and peace with you off of your mat. Remind yourself throughout your day just to be exactly where your body is. Be where your feet are. Inhale. Exhale. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Namaste. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. I so appreciate you tuning into my classes, subscribing to my channel, hopefully sharing it with your family and friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're interested in my membership, you can join. It's super reasonable. I post an extra video every week with things like sequencing, all things yoga poses, workshops, tutorials. We'll go over some of the sutras, so lots of different stuff. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you back next week.